So one guy who you were excited about, I think, because of the glimpses and the flashes, like very early on in the process, and
Yeah.
as a tweener, was USC's Tuli Tuipulotu.
Yeah. So he was, of all these guys that I watched, and we're gonna, there's a bunch of names here. I mean, there's Lucas Van Ness, Keon, Tuli, Myles Murphy, um, Adi, Zach Harrison, Mike Morris, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So my initial like exposure to them, you kind of develop preliminary opinions, or maybe that's a euphemism for a preconceived notion. But anyway, my initial opinion of these guys was I like Tuli the most, and then I watched all of them in depth, and then I actually didn't like Tuli any less, but I liked Keon even more than I did. So I like ended up overwriting my pre-existing opinion. It was just like honest interpretation of what I was seeing. Like, oh wow, I actually am undoing the guy that I wanted to like a lot, because Keon is just doing things that I really liked. Again, the age thing. But
Hmm.
anyway, with Tuli, I really like him as a pass rusher. I think he's a legit edge rusher. I think he's a good run defender on the edge. I think he's a really good interior pass rusher, better on the inside than the outside relative to other inside outside rushers. The question though is that he kept dropping weight year to year, and like he's dropped weight to the point where you can no longer talk about him as a big end. He's just an edge that is big, that gives you some flexibility on pass downs. You can kick him in, but he's not playing. He's not defending the run from an interior gap at all in the
Yeah.
NFL. I mean, he was recruited at 290 pounds, defensive tackle, and he has good movement skills. He has good coordination, and they just had him keep dropping weight. Then the other thing, USC has a cool scheme, but like they do so many schemed movements and actions that they don't focus technique. They're all movement.
They
So
throw everything at a wall, and it doesn't seem to matter if it sticks or not. They just keep throwing stuff at a wall.
so the players don't play with technique when it comes to the run, except for like the guys that are like the AGAP players maybe, but like everyone else, it's just they don't really need them. They're not a technique team. They're a scheme team. They're an action team. They're a
Run
movement
at the
team.
ball, go fast.
So it's so hard, even like it's so hard to find out. Like 260 because he's 265 now. Even if 265 can play way above the rate, which every once in a while there's a guy who can, but you're talking more like a heavy five, really, at that point. Even if you
Yeah,
can project that, there still aren't reps to evaluate because they don't have them actually play the block. It's so frustrating.
yeah. So like the other thing with him is he is not an athletic tester. And on tape, like there wasn't like he didn't look athletic, right? Like there's like interesting get off, there's good snap timing, but there isn't like wow or even like oh that's very good. He just
He's
looks
not
average
super Tracy.
as a guy. So that he didn't actually test because of a right hamstring. So I'm wrong on that. I just guess I'm just going off his get off then. But like the other thing with the testing that is that he has 32 and a quarter inch arms at the combine, and then 32
Another
and
red
3/8 of an
flag.
inch at his pro day. But that like if you don't know, Seattle wants 33-inch long arms ideally. Boye Mafe, you might point to as an exception, but to kind of repeat myself on that, at the Senior Bowl, he actually did have over 33-inch long arms. He also tested incredibly athletically and had size. Tuli is like, I don't know if that's a case of the weight he had before was bad weight, but he like didn't look like he was playing with bad weight, right? And then I don't know if it's a case of, he is not even 21. He turns 21 next March. So like, is he still just learning what kind of body he has for football? But like right now, he's a big edge a big end well, not a big end, like a big, like a 4-3 end who doesn't have
Yeah,
athleticism,
yeah.
but
I
like
mean,
some interesting.
sorry, but sorry to cut you off just really quick,
No,
but yeah, you don't walk into the combine and weigh in at 265 with any other intent but to brand yourself as an edge. You're broadcasting to teams like I'm an edge rusher now. Kick me in on pass downs if you want to, but I can rush it. And his best tape probably is him rushing tackles.
Yeah,
So it's, I mean,
yeah,
at
and
least as a college player, that doesn't mean he projects that way per se, although he probably does.
yeah,
But
and like on the few plays where he didn't get moved, like it wasn't stunting around because of the defense. Like he did really struggle to anchor, but again, it's because some of that is also technique, but also he is light, like anchor on the inside. But yeah, like the few times he got a straight edge rush as well, there's like nice jab steps, there's rips, there's turning the hips around by using his outside arm as well. There's some like lower body bend. There's some dipping of his upper body as well. Like
yeah, the hand
there's some
quickness
cornering moves and some shortening of the corner and pulling his hips around and stuff and through, but and like
as
working
a
angles. But it's just
pass rusher on the inside, I think he's the closest guy in this class to Michael Bennett as an interior pass rusher, not the run defense.
the
But
kind
they
of
win in
fluidity of it all.
the fluidity, but like the way they use their feet to set up the tackle to
Yes,
create
yeah,
angles for themselves. And then
that's
they have the reaction time, the hand quickness, like you
yeah,
were
that's
talking
what
about.
the kind of not fluidity, how synced up it is.
Yeah.
Lower upper body, hands, legs. Yeah, I see that too. But
He's just 265 and he doesn't
so
play
with
the run that way. So
like sixth round pick, fifth round pick, why not?
you think he's dropping to day 3?
Well, like what are we talking about here? This guy is short armed.
Okay, okay,
He
okay. You,
actually, you know
you
what? I'm wilding out here because he
okay,
had 13.5 sacks and 22 tackles for loss
so
in
okay, we gotta
2022.
so the grapevine, right? I'll just say this. I'll give you those Seattle Overload exclusive.
Oh,
There are some
play the
agents
siren.
that are talking about him in the 20s.
Okay, maybe I need to
Now,
watch more then. But like
and that's not his agent, that's other agents.
I watched Tulane where USC had a tough game. I watched Stanford and I watched UCLA, and like I loved what I saw in terms of like him as a rusher, but like all his sacks are like fake,
Brother,
mainly from what I saw. Like
brother. You got to watch the good games. Okay, no, it's good that you watch the games because I should watch those games because it would temper me, right? Like
they're all tech stunts. What are these
you
good
need
games?
to watch
13.5 sacks. I did not realize.
you got
That's
to
crazy
watch
tactical.
Utah, Notre Dame, both Utah games and Notre Dame and Wazoo.
I need I need the all 22, the all zone.
Yeah, I see. I watched them on YouTube. That's the thing because I didn't have all 22 on him compared to the other guys. But
Ah, well, you didn't tell me you watched Just Bomb Productions.
I put it in no, the whole cut up. I put it in the file, man.
Okay.
We gotta have we
So
gotta
so
beef
you're
up our
where are you taking him? You're
we
taking him
gotta
for
if they're running the old scheme, I'd take him
ah, but they're
late
not, brother.
20s.
And this is the thing. This is the thing. This is why. What did I say? I don't know what I said, but what I think I said was
Says
for
fifth or
Seattle, I'd take him in the fifth, sixth round
I'd
because he's
take
not a
him
scheme fit.
I'd take him at 50 if they were really wanting a pass rusher
50?
and he was the best one available. Yeah.
50?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Uh, I guess
Now, but
I'll watch the I'll do
that's only if the draft isn't falling well and they absolutely need a guy and he's the only like the best one left. I would take him at 50.
right. Nice
Otherwise,
caveat.
if
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
if they got a guy in
Can't
front
even
of him
stand on it.
that they really like say even if they took Mozzie Smith at 20, for example, and then say they took then I would if Tuli was there in the third, I'd take him, but I wouldn't feel pressed to take him the second round at all if you already got a guy you like. If you go get Carter, Tyree Wilson, Will Anderson, or maybe even Mozzie, I would not feel compelled to take him at all. I'd rather take a guy that's more of a scheme fit. But if he's there in the third round, then who cares? Sure, why not?
I like how he has short steps. Like he has
Short, stuttery
little
steps.
quick steps, little
That's what lets him like that's
builds
his
up
game.
speed. Like like a paddle boat.
Let's watch him. I've got my timestamps in the file for the and I have the YouTube link there.
Oh, you want
Can't
the
believe
YouTube link?
if you
We're
want
gonna
if you
spend
just want to
this
hype it
long
up,
on.
man.
You want to hype it up? Okay, we're gonna get This is how we get the dreaded word, I think. But fine, we'll do it. I'll do it for you. This is friendship. I love this. I love this YouTube. Here we go. Right. Here's Tuli.
You were so unenthused by this.
I just like obviously I have really long arms. Obviously, as a really long armed guy, anyone under 33 inches with like the
I
get off,
know.
which isn't great, I'm just like, no.
So in the scheme though, as we get some examples here of him
Yeah.
actually rushing the passer, I feel like we'd have to talk about him as honestly, as much as it pains me to say, as an outside linebacker.
But this link is very choppy right now, so I don't know why that is, but yeah, an outside linebacker? Are you mad?
Go to he doesn't fit inside. That's
He
the
doesn't
problem with
fit.
that's the problem. He doesn't
This
fit.
is this
Okay,
is gonna be
but
fun. I know he
let's
doesn't fit. That's
if
what I'm
they
telling you. That's why he's a
all
fifth
right,
round
all
pick
right,
in
all right, all right, all right, all
Seattle.
right, all right. But if they really see, look at that. Look at the hand quickness to work back inside.
Playing right edge.
It's
Oh my
lightning
word.
quick. See, here's the thing
I'm gonna
though.
break my
If
computer.
under the premise that they are obsessed with him as a pass rusher,
Hold
he's
on.
265.
Let me
No,
let
he's
me
not fast, but
let me try something here.
there's a what am I saying? There's plenty of precedents for the guys on the bigger side that really aren't that good in coverage. Like we talked about already with Dunlap. But let's just list them off. Joey Bosa's 270. They drop him from time to time. You got Tombo Ali, Lamar Woodley was pushing 280 toward the end of his career in Pittsburgh. They still dropped him. You got Pernell McPhee, Zadarius Smith. These guys are all 265, 275 playing outside linebacker in a 3-4. It's doable. The guy just has to be a good enough pass rusher to warrant making those schematic accommodations, like tailoring like how much you do or don't. So that's where I'm at with it.
Okay. Let me try sharing it again because I think I've fixed my issue. I have so much tape. It's my computer I think was struggling. It happens. Maybe not. I don't know why the playback's like this. Anyway.
Go to 436. You got to show the people the truth.
I didn't say there wasn't truth. Like I said, I liked him off the edge. Like he has real cornering moves, and like the synced up nature is obvious. I don't know what to do with guys who aren't athletic.
I know.
And he's a junior, right? Like a true junior.
Yeah, he's young,
Hence
and
his age,
productive.
but also like he could have stayed in school, could have gone to a real defense. I don't know why it's like this.
Yeah. Oh well, maybe sharing YouTube videos is not the way to go here.
It's not the move.
If
Okay, hold
you
on.
got, let's just revert to your clips then.
My clips. This is gonna be like a very long podcast. But like this guy is clearly important. I didn't know that he was this important to you.
He can rush, man.
I
It's
didn't say he
tragic.
couldn't rush.
He's a better edge rusher than Myles Murphy. I don't care. I'll say that.
Crikey. I mean, yeah, I don't think I disagree with that, to be fair.
I'm just very unenthused by Myles Murphy.
Let's watch him against Stanford. That's a nice traditional program, although not anymore. They've gone disgusting. No longer. They're trying to run the spread. Okay, I've put here in my notes: spicy edge rush, ghost move, murdering tackle. This is Flash. Does that sound exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be the title of the YouTube upload.
Ghost tackle dies with ghost.
Yeah,
ghost tackle.
Top 10 rare ghost moves.
Yeah.
2023.
Here we go. Now the other thing is I don't know why, but I just kept thinking 487 was a player.
All right, you want a player comp though? How about Brandon Graham?
Oh. He's not a tackle, it's a tight end. Doesn't count.
Yeah. Still traits though.
Yeah. Well, Michael Bennett himself wasn't the best of testers.
No, sir. He was strong as hell and coordinated as hell, and he knew how to play football. I really hate that we call it ghost moves now. It should just be a dip move, inside dip. I guess a
Yeah, I
ghost
feel
is a
like
specific type of dip where you pointedly flash hands and then try to, okay, some interior rush. See, now when I watched him, all of his interior wins are outside wins. So it's
yep.
cool that he's got a counter move because I haven't even seen this before. A little club swim.
Yeah, look at this guard oversetting for the wide rush. Like, nope.
Three-way go, man. He's got a three-way go from the inside. That's
Does he
valuable.
have the middle?
Enough to
Any ball
where
rush? I don't think so.
if he drops his helmet, I don't know.
Oh,
Two-way go at
two-way
least.
go.
Two-way
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
We'll compromise. Two-way go.
Okay.
Look at us.
Okay. Okay.
Two Aries meeting in the middle.
Um it's
Okay.
actually crazy. These notes are all just like stunting. Okay, here we go.
Another reason why, I mean, he could be another 49er for that reason. Like, oh, he speaks our language.
Yeah, I mean their defense actually reminded me of like the way they run tackle and exchanges to beat zone. It reminded
For
me of the
like
49ers.
it's like all purpose, pass and run,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
annoying. I hate that it
Here's an
works.
interesting rep, even though it's a draw play.
So his ability to transition to get a tackle on his inside shoulder so easily.
Like, is he short in the lower half? I think he is.
Yeah, and I think it helps him though. That's also
Definitely.
why he has these short steps, but it helps him when he's engaging the tackle because he's always gets half man position really
Yep.
easily. That's why he goes in and out so easily too.
Yep. Yeah. I don't think he's an outside linebacker.
He's an edge rusher forced to play outside linebacker for Seattle. Also, the thing is, he might be 275 right here. So if he dropped another 10 pounds for the combine, and if he plays in the NFL, he might actually be able to be a little bit more serviceable dropping.
Hope.
Yeah, let's cope. But hey, coping keeps us in business, man.
Oh, this is some speed off the edge. Just showing he's playing that's the to our left here, the edge. He hits the quarterback, even though the ball or the yeah, even though the ball doesn't go there, but shows how he can build up speed, even though he's not. I mean, it's probably the best get off I saw from him, but there you go.
It's a shame that we didn't have Wazoo tape or Utah
Well, don't
tape.
worry.
Is he,
I've got some better examples. Don't worry. We're spending time on Tuli because clearly he's your dude, right?
um,
Yeah, he's
he
your
was
guy.
my dude when I thought he was 280, but I don't know now.
Yeah, that is a gut
I still
punch.
like
So
him
why does that matter, Griff? Because I think it's something worth exploring.
because he can't play, even though we were just jostling back and forth on it. I mean, he can't play outside linebacker in base. He's too big, but then he can't play three technique in bear in base or even the nickel version because he's too small. So he's a tweener, unfortunately. Again, pass downs, put him wherever, it doesn't matter. On mixed scenarios, have him play edge in the 2-4 or 4-2, whatever it ends up being. You know, he probably is a better run defender than Daryl Taylor, right? Even if, you know, like that much we can say. So he definitely raises the floor as a run defender in that. It's just you can't take. I mean, you can't take him really with the first 50, 60 picks probably if he can only play half the snaps.
Mm.
But this is cool. Like this has been through contact right here
Now,
because one,
yep,
he gets
narrow
to his
corner.
rip, but he's able to bend the rip through without having a lot of depth on the tackle. Like there's no space between them, right? Like it's just pure transition to half man.
Yeah, no air in that at all. You can't even
Right.
see him on the screen right now. But that kind of reinforces the point of how he bends through on that.
So, and bend through contact is so hard to come by for guys that can really stress the edge because a lot of them, they win with speed, they get depth on the tackle. and then they lose ground the longer the rep goes on. But if they get enough initial depth on the tackle, they make it work. In this case, he didn't have to get depth on him. He just laterally, with his lateral quickness, transitioned to a rip immediately with a pretty narrow rush path, and then bends that sucker in all the way at 7-8 yards. That's high quality stuff.
What? Okay. So here I've put going for the ghost move off the edge, dipping in the upper body, and he is just interesting off the edge. That just is like a positive thing. Okay, so he's bumped out here. Like, look at look. There we go. This is moves. This is the kind of synchronized fluidity that we're talking about. Even like in the upper body, the way he stays square to not expose his outside pad, like working the angle, and then that enables him to then dip through.
So that's Michael Bennett rushing the edge. That's how manipulating
Mike,
sets, right?
Yeah,
It's
he always
manipulating
turns so
sets with
good.
feet work, and then the short choppy steps and getting the toes and hips cranked through, and like look at the hand quickness. The hands never stop. Like the reaction, like one of the reasons why Michael Bennett was so good was he didn't just have moves. He didn't just have heavy hands, but his hands were so quick and reactive and anticipatory. And that's Tuli. Like Tuli wins in tight spaces with his hands because his reaction time is insane. So
there you go. And here's an example of why he's not an outside linebacker. Along with like he's not comfortable in space. So
yeah. But Matty,
so
what if he's 275 here?
Here he is.
Imagine
just
if
look
he's
how awkward this
265.
looks.
Yeah, not his bag.
Now, a lot of people would be awkward here, and it's a fake defense where he doesn't know what he's meant to do in this situation, I imagine. But
yeah, they don't have rules; they just
comfortable.
have guidelines.
But yeah, just slightly uncomfortable. Oh, I've put next to this one clip, but this may be a clip for my coaching rather than for us. But let's see. Oh no, this is the tackle end exchange thing. Never mind.
See, the 49ers make a living out of that.
I know. I did a tweet on it.
It makes me so mad. It's not real. Play real football.
Hey, and this is nice. Variation of the speed, the tempo.
Look how sudden he is, though, man. And like that's
so he needs a 5-yard dash.
His 5-year dash, and then again the like composition adjusted bend, like that's a fairly tight path. Like he's not drifting way upfield. I mean, he's got more bend than Myles Murphy. And now, granted, Myles Murphy in a straight line is incredibly explosive and fast, but when it's time to change direction, like Tuli hasn't beat. So look how fast his hands are, like keeping himself clean. It's insane, dude. Well, relatively clean. The initial punch doesn't land, but then he has the strength to maintain his bend path, right? He doesn't give ground on it.
Yeah. Here's an interesting rep of like sudden being able to turn back.
Yeah.
Get that foot in the ground.
Kind of a rough angle, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the guy meant to make the play, is he? But
right. Oh yeah, he is looping, but I don't know. If you're just doing pass rush, he might be. I mean, he's probably one of the
playing spinner.
I think he's one of the better pure pass rushers in the draft. He has odd fits in base for the Seahawks scheme right now.
So if you're the Seahawks, you take him in like the 5th round, right?
I'd think about him in the 3rd.
Okay.
But I wouldn't take him in the first 2 rounds.
I'd be excited. If they did that, that'd be cool. Like, because it's just like what does that mean for the defense, and like how are they going to use him? And he's clearly ticked their character stuff. Pull rip again, getting that rip and bend through contact. Like,
if they have a game where they feel like they want to play a lot of base personnel under, then sure, have him be the 5 technique, right?
Oh no, he's too small.
He could play 5 technique. You
kidding me? He can't.
5 technique. It's outside shoulder of the tackle.
No, I don't think
you don't. Can. That's not an interior player. The 5 technique discourse is jump the shark. You're just setting an edge.
Yeah, I know.
That's all you're doing.
Yeah, Yeah, I know, but he's got really short arms and he's
He can
260 pounds.
he that's fine. 265 can play 5 technique in the NFL. They can't play 4 technique.
Well, so
When
he
we
just look like this, where he just is just running, like run.
see, he needs to be taught how to play football.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
that might help. Yeah, okay.
um,
Short arm tackle as well. Look at this, short arms, almost
yeah.
rips his shoulder out. Yeah, great, brilliant, cool.
Anyway,
Well, that we spent a lot of time on Tuli Tuipulotu, and you know what? It's probably the first slight disagreement Griffin and I've had, except we're agreed. I'm just phrasing it slightly differently.